So, we've only just got one more Power Star left and only 2 more tasks ahead of us to go. So even then though, that way we could able to actually mention about that in Drain later on. So, hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I am Piglet here once again and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Mario Galaxy for the Nintendo Wii. So, last time we actually did manage to able to still continue on with the purple coin challenges here and there. And today for this episode, this might actually be a grand finale of this game's Let's Play actually. Because of that though, we've only got one more Power Star left, and then as a result, it's going to be located in just at the Golden Dome, and it's going to takes place in the forms of Melty Molten Galaxy. So with that being said, well, there's not much else we can do other than that. Well, simply put, we need to go to the actual, like, you know, Melty Molten Galaxy, and just do the final mission in the entire game. Well, we'll save more mention about that until later on throughout this Let's Play offers, but because for now, we'll do this mission for now. So, yeah, today was actually forms of the 25th of February in 2019, so naturally speaking, that, to be honest, there's not much else I can really mention about this at this point. So even then though, here we go on to Melty Molten Galaxy, and the mission is called Red Hot Purple Coins. So, and thankfully though, this mission can be very short because even then though, because much like in the forms of Deep Dark Galaxy, it's going to take place centered around just only one planet. So even then though, because of that though, this mission could go by pretty quick, even if it depends on your forms of how fast you were. So even then though, that, you know, you get the idea. Now, of course, this might be the final time we're going to be doing this particular stuff. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't think this is actually a final time we're going to be doing this, though. Because of that, though, we'll mention in more details until later on, because I just realized about something that... Do you remember, buddy, forms of in Super Mario 64, whenever you're trying to collect every single Power Stars in the game, that not only does it give you, buddy, forms of the different dialogue for Bowser and all that stuff, but it also actually accesses you to the forms of the actual castle rooftop. Not to mention that you can actually bump into Yoshi every once in a while. Especially noticeable with those three mushroom mobs, all that stuff. But even then though, that could be something worth mentioning. And in Super Mario Sunshine, oh yeah, you can also get yourselves a nice beautiful triple jump if you manage to able to max out your lives counter up to 100. And especially noticeable with the forms of that the penguin in the forms of that particular penguin race at the forms of the Ice Slide mission in Cool Mountain, that he's actually pretty big. But yeah, not to mention because of how the fact that it might do the exact same thing for Super Mario 64 DS, other than, well, Yoshi was a playable character on the DS version of Super Mario 64, so there's no need for able to just to mention about that. So even then, because of that though, it shares the exact same features and all that stuff as the 64 counterpart, but then it's on the Nintendo DS, and with the forms of that upgraded visuals in here and there. And that's as far as I can usually mention about that form or another. And also that oh crap, I just keep on getting burnt. Oh jeez. So anyways though, and in true to likes of in Super Mario Sunshine, that if you grab all 120 of those Shine Sprites, then not only does it give you like the best ending of any sorts, because of how the fact that not only does it give you like the opportunity you can be able to get yourself your sun icon right next to your profile, but not only that, it also gives you the actual like the proper ending image. So even then, like the forms of have a relaxing vacation subtitled, but even then though, that will I don't know if we can able to do a redo Let's Play of Super Mario Sunshine, even though we would love to, if depends on if the new 3D Mario game will be announced at some point. But either way though, it could be like Super Mario Odyssey 2, or especially noticeable like after we able to finish up with Super Mario Odyssey, the first game. Well, at least it all depends, because either way though, that we still pretty rusty at the moment with the news updates, all that here and there, but I'm sure enough we already mentioned about these announcements quite enough for the forms of this month for this point. So because of that, well, yeah, not much to really tell. So, you know, obviously that we've only got ourselves like, I would say by the forms up at this point, we've only got 4 more days to go until March. meaning about the fact that the March is the only month to able to release not only Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, but also Yoshi's Crafted World. So Nintendo, because of that, really looking forward to able to playing those two. Even though technically, some people seem to really skip over the forms of Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn pretty much for the 3DS because they've already got the original game on the Nintendo Wii. But besides with adding some extra features here and there, and possibly the lack of multiplayer co-op aspect from the Wii version has been completely gone. Well, I don't still mind about that, but at the same time, I just really want the 3DS to move on to, well, Nintendo's usually focusing on Nintendo Switch at this point. So, anyways though, that's it for pretty much every single part of the Golden Dome, and at the same time, we've actually done with Melty Mountain, so we have enough star power to go to another world. Oh, sweet. But before that, we must help you, your special one. Are you prepared to travel to the center of the universe? Yes, absolutely. You're on it. Alright then, off we go. Now I'm gonna skip that cutscene there because I'm pretty sure you guys should already know about this scene. It plays exactly like a exact same scene for how it does it from last time, so naturally, if you manage to reach up to 120 power stars, that unlike in Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, although you can still get access to the forms of the final level, but on the other hand though, especially in Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2, which we'll get to that during the likes event again, at this point we've only got about 5 months time, or in this case almost 4 months time, so even then though we still got some time left. So even then though, we can able to actually replay through the final Bowser level twice. So even then though, because of that, well, technically speaking, in this particular game itself, well, I'll mention more details onto that later, but either way though, just like before, we need to, you know, purposely try to able to reach the very end once again. But I don't think it's going to change the difficulty or anything like that, so it plays exactly the same as of how it does it for the forms of your first time around. So because of that, yeah, that's as far as I can tell. But the only major differences between the first time playing through this, especially by the forms the second time playing this, is the fact that I believe you might get yourselves a different ending for once, and especially noticeable when you forms of a different staff credit sequence, which we'll mention more details onto that later. But from now on though, we'll go ahead and breeze for this, and for the most part, that I seem to able to know what I'm doing for this point. So, but yeah, for the most part though, that this game is still pretty easy to me though, compared to the forms of the sequel, but that's perfectly fine by me, because I know for the fact that I didn't have no much of an issues there. And even then though, what if I managed to able to play, you know, the most recent Kingdom Hearts 3 on the PlayStation 4, that I've realized is that the Kingdom Hearts 3 is easily one of the easiest Kingdom Hearts games in the entire series in general, because not only does it usually contain, like, well, the absence of the critical mode, unless if you're trying to hack the game, but also by the forms of how the fact that I don't think there's any that much else to it other than that, other than the worlds themselves. It's pretty huge, like for instance by the forms of the Caribbean world, but even then though that sometimes I occasionally die sometimes because of my first time experiencing those particular main mechanics, and some people seem to really wish if the final mixed version was a thing, which I would appreciate about that kinds of stuff, but even then though that, whoa, that's actually pretty clever actually, for that specific dodging maneuvering I just did. That I almost gonna get hit by that bonsai build, and also but at the same time, those bullet bills, so naturally speaking, I managed to done it just fine. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So anyways though, let's once again launch ourselves from here, and Bowser Jr. once again shows up, including for the likes of Princess Peach, so, you know, once again we have to rescue her for a second time in this game, so, yep, we get the idea. And just like before, we need to reach up to the forms of Bowser's staircase for a second time. But I'm actually going to be going after the exact same stuff as to how it does it previously. I'm going to go for a live stream, and why do I still keep performing backflips all the time? I mean, this doesn't make sense to me. But anyways though, I'm just really hoping that the final mixed version of Kingdom Hearts 3 will be a thing, because either way though, expecting for some DLC or the physical form, even then though, we might as well find things out during later time. But for now, because at the moment they have to like concentrate on I would say the next Square Enix game, which is supposed to be Kingdom Hearts virtual reality experience, but they need some more developing time before they're able to actually work on it. So who knows what able... Oh wait, I seem to realize that the Sony E3 2019 conference is not going to show up this year, so that makes it a little bit downgraded as far as I can concern with that, unlike in last year. That does it pretty good actually, even though some exceptions mind you, but either way, that's just how it is for me. But anyways though, so let's go ahead and deal with Bowser for the, or in this case, the final Bowser battle for the second time in this game. And I keep on getting hit by those little porcupines, or these little spinies right here, or in this case, you know, just spikes all in general. But anyway, again, not much else to really tell at this point, even though apart from the fact that on my own time, I'm actually able to actually just about to be starting over on my PSP version of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep recently, and I'm actually able to actually just to go ahead and do with the standard mode this time around. Sure, I die a few times just because of the unversed enemies. This keeps on kicking my butts most of the time, but either way though, because, well, that game utilizes the command deck system, which is very understandable for the most part, and now I'm pretty terrible at the actual section right now. I was hoping I'd be able to breeze through this, but honestly, sometimes my trial and error situations usually uncommon. So, anyways, here we go with the most intense epic music going on in the background again. Which, you know, thankfully the Nintendo copyright claims is expires. So even then, I'm very glad about this little tradition. The only exception is, of course, Disney, of course, and especially noticeable with Square Enix copyright claims as well. So, especially with the celebrity songs here and there as well, that also managed to get copyright claims as well. So, probably might as well able to actually realize about that. So, oh yeah, because of that though, whenever I still remember by the forms of that back in the day, well about, let's just say in 5 years ago now, that we did manage to do the 3rd anniversary of our YouTube channel by the forms of the Maxi Toys, but somehow by the forms that one of those songs is actually being copyrighted by the forms of, I would say, well, I'm not going to mention the actual song name because I would able to actually get a copyright strike, so even then I'm probably not going to mention about that too much. So, we'll try to able to just let it go for the past. Well, usually it goes big of such, but anyway. So anyways though, let's go ahead and just deal with Bowser, and boom! He's defeated once again, and once again is going to plumbering down to the fiery planet. So, yeah, you get the idea. I think it does the exact same thing for like before when Super Mario 3D Land exists, but even then, except the fact that, well, in Super Mario 3D Lands, you don't deal with the forms of gravity stuff here and there. So, in this case, you have to deal with the flat platforms here and there. So, yeah, you get the idea. And here's the forms of the 7th and the final Grand Star again, but despite the fact we've already just collected that from previously, so I think we should probably grab that again. Well, at least specifically whenever we see the actual ending. Well, we already know about the ending is, basically, so, but this time around, though, I'm actually going to be talking over this, because either way, though, I'm pretty sure enough for most of you people out there, they already know about the ending works, because either way, though, that, well, it just gets a little bit more emotional sometimes, even because of how the fact that most of these Lumas manage to get sucked into the forms of the black hole we go. Well, usually in the cutscene logic, as you can see right there, it's still technically see that the Grand Star has already been collected, despite the faults of the actual cutscene logic. So they're just trying to able to actually make it a little bit more coincidence, and plus it's like almost pre-rendered. Well, at least almost like a completely like CGI or something like that. Maybe I'm just getting confused at this point. So yeah, it looks like this fiery planet is about to be going to its destruction. Well, not so much destruction, but either way though, it's managed to able to break apart, even like, you know, some of these platforms here and there. Still, I'm really very impressed about the actual visuals of this game. It's actually very impressive even to this day. Even like almost for about 11 years old at this point. Even though, still, this is the best looking Nintendo Wii game, along with, you know, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, and also The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, including Skyward Sword as well. And let's just not forget to mention about the forms of Okami, the one of the best looking third-party games at the time, so, but you know, you get the idea. And yeah, it still says the exact same dialogue as how it does it previously, but apart from the fact that, you know, I've already read through all these, so yeah, you get the idea. So it looks like the black hole is about to appear, which, you know, you get the idea, will get sucked in no matter what. And plus, not to mention, with that path that, you know, Rosalina has created, that it also just decides to go shattered. And I didn't realize that these paths are made out of electric, because of the actual, like, sparks here in there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but either way, though, let me know in the comments below. So either way, though, that, you know, if it's true or not. So, here's the most saddest scene ever. Even then, I'm all gonna say this right now, it's almost gonna make me feel like, you know, emotional, tearing. But even though it's just only one scene, I just think it's so emotional to me. Especially with the music piece as well, but either way though, that's just how I think it is, so... Oh, I really need to get tissue whenever I just done with this recording session, but either way though, we'll just go through all that, so... Of course, that as to be expected, we can't skip this sequence, because obviously this was supposed to be like the final portion of the game, so because of that, you know, you can't really skip those scenes as much, so yeah, you get the clue. It might do the exact same thing for how it does it for, you know, for when it gets to the sequel as well, even with a different aspect, but we'll mention about that, you know, again when it gets to, like, July at some point. How come I was, like, pretty small compared to Rosalina right there? Because Rosalina was gigantic by the looks of it. Even, like, the actual height, the toe length, and even, like, you know, just pretty much everything, so... But still, I think that Rosalina is a very interesting introduction, and possibly is one of my favorite Mario princesses in the entire franchise, because even then, that she now decides to join in with any kind of spin-off titles, like, you know, some other karts racing games, like Mario Kart Wii, and 7 especially, and let's not forget about the forms of the arcade GP DX specifically, not the virtual reality though, because they only just put up with just only 6 racers. Well, to be more accurately though, 2 computer controlled characters, most notably Wario and Bowser, and the human sorry, I can't speak today. The human characters can easily be controlled is of course Mario, Luigi, and Peach and Yoshi, but you get the idea. And it looks like we return back to Mushroom Kingdom, and hopefully things should be able to be restored at this point, because you know that the Princess Peach's castle has been, like, finally back to its normal spot, without any sort of, like, asteroids that's about to be interrupted. I'm kind of expecting if Yoshi will be in the actual rooftop, but it doesn't matter, because when we get to the sequel, then you guys should probably already know that Yoshi will be in the game, so even then though that, you know, we get the idea. You see that Honey Queen over there, and in addition with all kinds of enemies, including Dino Piranha as well, which is really odd to able to actually invite the, you know, Dino Piranha to begin with, but hey, pretty weird. And of course Bowser decides to join in too, so hey, at least it's pretty, you know. Oh man, looking at the actual visuals themselves, even the character models especially, they look pretty damn good, even by the forms of, like, almost realistic for Bowser though, even by the actual, like, textures and the sculptors or anything, so very impressive though.
Welcome, new galaxy!
Yes indeed, Mario, there will be a welcome new galaxy of one form or another. We even don't know what the new world could have been. Well, we'll never know. But anyways though, I think that's pretty much else I can really say about the forms of Super Mario Galaxy as a result. To be honest, I think I'm probably not going to mention about the final thoughts of the game just yet, because obviously there's still more things to come, including the second playthrough of this particular game. Because I state that is because, well, I'll mention more details onto that as soon as we jump into that specific point, so... But in this staff credits right there, it plays exactly like before, except, as you can see, we actually stumbled across a different screenshots of some previous events that we actually been into. Like this one, for instance, takes place in Deep Dark Galaxy. Now, presuming that most of these events usually takes place in, let's just say, Engine Room and onwards, Because if you really want to go through the center of the universe first, then usually it just shows us by the forms of the early points of the game first. Well, at least to be more specifically, the early screenshots or something like that, so... But either way though, that's as far as I can think about it, so... But yeah, yeah, you get the idea, so... Yeah, see that Dry Bones is actually gathered around, and that caged power star right there. And then the most intimidating boss in the entire game, which is of course King Finn. That I still really think that he's the most intimidating boss fight you ever going to encounter, so... Still, it really surprised me, so... And there's also the ones in Bubble Breeze, which despite the fact that in Bubble Breeze Galaxy is usually located at the the Kitchen Dome, sorry. And, you know, you get the solution by this point, so... But yeah, I really enjoy this game still, and, you know, you get the idea for the actual, like... Well, I'm not gonna mention my final thoughts of the game just yet, because, obviously, there's still more things to come for this game so far, especially because of how the fact that, well... Usually, if you think about the forms of, like, this is actually the 20th part so far, well, the truth is, I don't really see the points that the actual Let's Play wasn't exactly over yet, because, obviously, I've already mentioned about it before. There was actually a second playthrough that we're gonna be doing with, and I realized there was actually some watermelons as opposed to melons, by the forms of that, bottom right screenshot there. I'm guessing this might be some kind of a secrecy or something like that, but either way though, how come Luigi was actually one of those screenshots? Mario wasn't on there. I wonder why. Could it be... Oh my goodness, I think we're actually gonna be playing as a second playable character. Could it be true? I don't know, we'll find out after this little credit sequence is over. Well, not only because of the forms of the staff credit sequence will be done and over with, well, usually it doesn't take that long though, because either way though, that, well, it usually took about like, I would say for about 5 minutes or so, but in the forms of the actual background music, it still looks epic to this day. So even then though, because of that, well, you know. So, yeah, and there's also that nice little pre-rendered, cinematic with, Rosalina just trying to up for its, you know, her starship, preparing. And, yeah, pretty cool, rendered. So, yeah, and also by the forms of the testing of Nintendo of E, in this case, Nintendo of Europe. So, because when it says, like, NOA, means Nintendo of America. So, because of that, you know, you probably get the idea if you, following on Twitter. Well, usually if you manage... Well, I still haven't access to Twitter, though, because either way, though, I wasn't really into it as much to me. But either way, though, yeah. And also that Mario and Peach are flying about, and even then, though, pretty cool shot right there. And the final screenshot is just shows us the Gateway Planet right there. Could it be something else? Well, we'll suppose we're able to mention about that, and yeah, still Shiwata Iwata's name was still there, but even though, because, you know, it's kind of sad that he passed away for about 4 years ago, so... Anyways, before we mention about the forms of the ending portion of the video, I'll let you guys enjoy for that secret, cinematic, or that secret cutscene, so enjoy this scene.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will watch over you from beyond the stars. So what was the reward? Oh, we can play as Luigi! Okay, I see the point there. However, in this particular game though, we have to replay the game twice in order to actually unlock the, as far as I've heard, we need to able to play the game twice before you're able to unlock the true final level in the game, so... Oh well, at least I don't mind about it too much. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario Galaxy, or actually that was actually it, because next time around, in the forms of that particular game, we'll get things started with the forms of our second playthrough, which is Super Luigi Galaxy. So, but it won't happen until April, so see you then.